You cannot wait for the military to come and do everything. We have to allow some level of armament for the communities, and they can serve as the first line of defense.
Viewers and subscribers, you're welcome back again. This is BVI Channel 1, where we tell you undiluted truth. I don't want to say too much because the DSS had said it all. We respect, first, why the CDS, the Chief of Defense Staff visa, was denied by Canada. And secondly, which is the most important, the insecurity ravaging Nigeria. Listen to this attentively. I'll be right back.
With the CDS. This gentleman, officer and general, does not cease to amaze me, because he did not only accept to come here, but he did so in writing. He acknowledged, and he did so in writing. He's a great team player. In all my years in service, I've never seen a team player like Naira Musa. Thank you very much. Thank you for all you do. And I'll tell you a story about the former US President, George Bush. He had gone to campaign in Florida for a second term, and a 10-year-old girl walked up to him and said, "When I grow up, I want to be a president just like you." But she said, "At this moment, tell me what a 10-year-old can do to help your administration." And President Bush said, "Anytime you see an American in uniform, say thank you to him. Because every day they lay down their lives for us. Naira Musa, please say thank you to our troops for laying down their lives for us." But as much as I like Naira Musa, he underrated me. You know, I have spent 35 years in this job, but for political appointment, I should be on my way out by April. And all I've learned is covertness, how to do things covertly. So, Naira Musa, you made a mistake with me. When we invited you for this program to be the chairman, you now decided to go and apply for Canadian visa. So we covertly made sure we denied you. So, my dear General, next time when you hear of DSS, and under a leadership like mine, who has swag in doing the job, don't underrate us. So when you leave here, you can see me, you get your Canadians. We wanted you to be here, so you couldn't have been in Vancouver. Speaking seriously about the practical approach to mobilizing to curb insecurity, I'll share experience with you when I was state director in Bauchi. Most of you will remember an incident in Azari. A group of terrorists, the Boko Haram, then had invaded Azari. They were shooting in an attempt to kidnap, and the community chased them. They killed some members of the community, but the community members killed all of them. The last guy, Khalid, climbed onto a tree and was firing. The community stood, they were resilient, and they killed Khalid. Since that day, there has not been one terrorist attack in Azari. As a matter of fact, the former head of state, General Ibrahim Badamosi Babangida, said, and I quote, if we want to stop or curb this terrorism, we shall emulate the Azari example. Tafawa Balewa also happened to be a local government in Bauchi that was always in flames. And the people of Bogoro and some part of Tafawa Balewa, where the Sayawas are, rose up on one occasion. They knew their terrain better, climbed onto trees and mountains. And when the invaders came, they did not only repel them, they seized their weapons. And since then, you can attest to it that you hardly hear about Tafawa Balewa again. What I'm trying to say, the practical approach to mobilizing people, is that you have to get everyone involved. You do not expect the Nigerian Army, police, DSS, to protect every Nigerian or every community. It is not going to work. In the US, if you visit someone in the house, you will be shocked that when the guy hears a police siren, he will just pull his drawer, bring out his gun and keep it. So one of my hosts did that, and I asked him, why are you putting gun here? He said, well, if they are chasing someone and he enters my house, I'll shoot him first. And that is the layer we have to start thinking about. How can you create first line of defense? The military, police, and other security agencies are to deal with the bigger ones, the organized ones. But it is impossible for us to deploy to every community in the country. It is unimaginable that any security agencies that has the resources to do it. So as we live here, we all belong to one community or the other. What we have to start experimenting is how we can make the community to prepare first, if the first line of defense for us. General Wahab said it clearly. And for me, there are 3 takeaways from his lecture. By the way, the general and I were guest speaker at one program in our office, so I'm not surprised that his dexterity. He has developed some sort of expertise in what he does. But 3 things for me. He asked us a question. What is our own culture? Our culture is communal. We do things together. Festival together. Ceremonies together. Wedding ceremony, whatever. So why can't we fight some miscreants, some charlatans among us together? The community should say, you cannot come here. This is what Tafawa Balewa has done. If you go to that community to attack them, you'll be sorry for yourself. I challenge anybody to try it. And this is the way we have to do. We have to allow some level of armament for the communities, and they can serve as the first line of defense. Second takeaway from what the general said, whole society approach is not the first time we are hearing. But what I'm saying, the way to do it is when we live here, those of us who have some influence, the elites in society, discuss with your communities, come to us, get some sort of approval and guidance, and then we can stop these criminals. You can imagine you call sector, let's say sector 4 or whatever, sector of the army, to come to this community if there's an attack. Before they even arrive there, if they attack another community, what happens? This is what we should take away from here. And lastly, he said something very instructive. By the way, I like Osman. He knows who to give time. Have you seen him around here? He has advised himself. So don't run into trouble like the CDS. Okay, so last thing he said to us, which is quite important, is that we should not make this another talk show. And that's why this is my intervention. That security starts from you. There is nothing that is new. 1870 something, I can't remember. The French Revolution, in the street of Paris, they were beheading people. We've had hijack of plane. We'll forget quickly. We've had the wet ear syndrome. We had so many. There's no Metassini and whatever. There will always be security problem. So when I hear people say this is security in Nigeria, as long as human beings exist, there will be security problem. The issue is the response. We have to take that mentality away. What is the security agencies doing? Who, apart from a tree, knows that they want to come and cut him and remain standing? Only a tree. We have to get the communities to rise and defend themselves first. And the time to start it is now. When you move out from here, I do that every day. I come from a village in Ijebu land, Ogun State, and I talk to my people. I know the level of armament they are entitled to. I know how they organize themselves in quarters. We have 4 quarters. I am using my expertise to guide them. You cannot wait for the military to come and do everything.
Good. Now, if you have watched this far, thank you for listening through and understanding how to fight insecurity in Nigeria. The guy was sincere enough to say it this way. But there is one thing you must take out of this. Community as the first line of defense. Remember, Danjuma said it. Buhari government we are dragging him for saying that people should go and defend themselves and not wait for the military. It is no different from what the director DSS said here. Now, the bigger and the deeper question is, why is it that Buhari's government at a time decided to disarm every community, especially in the southeast, asking all the vigilantes to surrender their light arms they use to safeguard their different community from the armed marauders of cows? It's beginning to make sense, right? Now you're understanding where the problem is. More of the video subsequently will expose more. You don't need to miss a thing. Let me have your opinion on the comment section and look out for the next video where more of this is uncovered by an insider of Buhari's government who exposed the government as the sponsors of terrorists in Nigeria. Let's get to that. Let me have your opinion on this. I still remain Asuchina Peters, the advocate for good governance. Bye-bye for now. GGN, uniting the people for good governance.